back in the lab, this time at the lab at home, and wanted to show you kind of what I did as far as testing my injector. So this is just what I did. Again, this isn't a how-to or anything like that. This is just what I did personally. I wanted to see if all my injectors worked before I actually installed them and put my intake and all that fuel rail back together. Figured since they were already out, might as well. So what I did is I went to the dentist's office and got one of these water syringes that has a little pointy curved tip here. And I cut it down a little bit so that this straw that came from like a fuel injector cleaner that I have here, spray can, would fit in there, and it actually fits really tight and snug, so that's good. I shoved the straw down, it probably stops about here, somewhere in here, halfway down, so it goes down into the tube here. And this is fuel injector hose, it actually fit really good and snug in here. As you can see, these black marks are pressing. That's the hose pressing against the inside of the tube, so it fit pretty snug. But what I did as well is I stuck a little bit of RTV at the top here, so we got a good, nice seal, and that no air leaked out. And even you can see here how tight it is up here. You can see a little bit of fluid right there built up, so it's not able to get out. So if any leaked out, it was probably really minimal, but it's a pretty good airtight seal right there, so that's good. This is the top of the injector here. I took the O-ring off and I shoved it into the bottom of the hose and I clamped it down, so it's a good, nice seal right here. So, and what I did is I have these alligator clips that are hooked up to this wire. Bought these at O'Reilly's for like $2 or $3. And this is a injector connector or terminal, whatever you want to call it. So this is actually the wrong one for these 5.3 injectors. These are just the stock injectors too, by the way. I think they're like 28 pounds or something like that. So what I did, since they didn't fit, is I actually cut this down and I cut got the terminals exposed, and then I got these little terminal ends here, these little spade connectors or whatever you call them, and I was able to take some needle nose pliers and I crimped them down so they would fit in the inside of the connectors here inside there. And I soldered them together, wrapped them in electrical tape, and so they wouldn't touch, and you know, they're really sturdy now. Got them lined up so now I could just put them in and they fit in there snug. And the end of the wire here is exposed, so I got the alligator connectors on both wires. I just wrapped them up in painter's tape. You know, I had electrical tape, but I just had this painter's tape close to me, so I wrapped them all up so they don't touch each other. And as I had this all hooked up, I stuck this end into the spray can nozzle, and I was able to hold all that together with my hand. And before I sprayed it, I applied this to a 12-volt source, so this to the negative, and then this went to the positive. And as I sprayed it in there, it filled up, it was airtight, got a little pressure built up and the fluid. And as I applied the power to the battery, and to the from the battery to the terminal, it would spray it out. And again, that's how I did it to test them, and it actually worked really well. And it tested, they all tested good, worked well. You know, when I sprayed it, they all sprayed out until it couldn't spray anymore. I let it go, and then you could hear it click on and click off as you applied power. The only one that didn't work was this one, and it didn't do anything. You applied power to it, nothing. When I actually tested it, it just sprayed out freely. So it's stuck open, which, you know, this is exactly the reason why I tested them like this, just so I didn't install it all, then ended up having a faulty injector, and then had to figure out which one it was and all that. So now I know that this one's bad. I even tried to reverse flow it, and you know, it didn't do anything. So So no power to it, no nothing. It just didn't work. And again, when I spray tested it, it just sprayed freely right through. So which means it just would have just overflowed that piston, and all that was just fluid. So on that side, wherever I had this injector at. So anyways, that's that. So again, this isn't a how-to or anything like that. This is just how I did it. And you know, it's not flow tested them or anything. It's just testing to see if they worked. And again, this is just how I did it. So in any case, that's what I did, and you know, worked pretty good. Showed me that this was bad, and now I gotta find another one. So I'll probably hit up eBay. I think I seen them on eBay for like as cheap as like $18 for an OEM Delphi one. That's brand new. So even some remanufactured, I think, for a couple bucks more that have been flow tested and all that. So I'll probably just get one and just throw them in. So again, this is I guess it's not technically a budget build, but now I'm getting really budget because I'm towards the end of this build, and it's costing me more money than anticipated, as car projects typically always do. And so now I'm really trying to cut corners money wise, but still be able to do everything correctly and be safe about it. So I guess I'll be ordering a new injector. So that's how I did it, y'all. Hope that helped somebody out there, and that's it. All right.